I'm Michael Depp, editor of TVNewsCheck, and this is Talking TV, a podcast that brings you smart conversations about the business of broadcasting. Today, I'm with Jerry O'Connell, host of Pictionary, and we'll be talking about game shows, daytime TV, and maybe also drawing. After a successful test run last summer, Pictionary is now getting a full season run on Fox television stations. The show is based on a Mattel board game that originated back in 1985. It's produced by Fox First Run, Bill's Market and Television Production, and it's distributed by CBS Media Ventures. The host of Pictionary is Jerry O'Connell, who is with me here today. Welcome, Jerry.
What is up? What an honor. I think we say first time, long time. First time caller, long time listener.
Well, it is great to have you here. I really appreciate it. And most people will know how to play this game, Jerry, but for those who don't, tell us how it works.
When I say I'm working on a show called Pictionary, I don't have to say anything else. People usually have a very specific memory of playing Pictionary. They usually say, oh, I used to play Pictionary every summer with my family, or it's usually like a personal experience that they have with it. So there's that. People have very personal experiences with Pictionary. It's really funny. When I got the call from Frank Siccia, I used to call him Mr. Siccia, but he said I can call him Frank. He said I have an email that says that. So when I got the call from Frank, that they were looking for a host for this test run, I immediately sent him back. I have two daughters who are 13, and we just went through like everyone else, the pandemic and the quarantine. And it was really the game we played mostly with our 13-year-old daughters, locked in our house for over a year, was Pictionary. And I had just played the other night with my family, and we switched teams up, as you do in Pictionary, and it was my wife and I versus my two children. And the clue was, or the word was fireman, fire person. And my wife tried to draw a fireman. We did not get it, but it didn't look safe for work. It looked offensive, what my wife drew. There was a helmet. She tried to draw a hose spraying something.
I'm getting a picture here.
Right. It was not appropriate for this podcast, The Workplace. And I just sent that to, and it was kind of a risk because Frank mentioned this game show Pictionary, and I immediately sent him a not safe for work photo. And Frank just wrote back, "What is that?" And I said, "That's a fireman that my wife tried to draw the other night in Pictionary. I would be more than honored to host the televised version of Pictionary. We like to think of ourselves as experts in our house." So I'm hoping that when the show comes out, it's people's personal experiences like that. Like, oh yeah, Pictionary. Okay, I know how this game works. Let me see how they televise it.
So were you much of a player yourself growing up with the game?
Yeah, yes. I'm 47. We played all the time. It's just, and it's funny too, because the game, you can play it at any age. And there's something fun about playing people of all ages who might draw a little slower than people of a certain age who are able to draw clearly and concisely. It's just a really fun family game. And it's funny going into bringing Pictionary to television. I think we were all really thinking about that fun. At least I was really thinking about that fun hosting it. How jazzed you get for Pictionary, Even sometimes when you have to do boring family dinners, it's like, oh, let's break out the Pictionary, everybody. Let's go. It's fun because
Suddenly it's a night.
Well, it makes it night. It causes arguments with your family, but the good kind of arguments, not the arguments over like mandates or whatever.
Right. So game shows are an interesting creature on the TV landscape because while so much viewership is moving over to streaming, Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune are two of the biggest powerhouses left on broadcast outside of football.
Hmm.
Why do you think game shows are still such a draw for viewers?
You know, it's funny. I've been in the daytime game for a couple of years now. My daytime syndicated career started with a show called My Secret Identity, which was a syndicated show that Universal Television at the time sold with another syndicated show. And in New York, in the New York area where I grew up, it sold to WOR Channel 9,
Channel
which
9,
I
yeah.
believe which is it's not a CW affiliate, it's a My TV, it's called My TV now.
Mhm.
But so that was in the early 90s. I mean, that's how far back I go to syndication.
Mhm.
I took a little break from the syndicated world, went to college, did a couple movies, and got back into the syndicated world when Regis Philbin, God rest his soul, got a little, had to take a leave, and I was doing a play in New York, and they needed fill-in hosts. And I went in one day and filled in with Kelly Ripa. And I had a great time. I mean, you know, at the time, my kids were about 2. I have twin daughters, and Kelly Ripa is like the best. Kelly Ripa is the best. And I knew her very little personally at the time, but it was just so easy and it was like conversational. And that was my next foray into the syndication world. CBS wanted to try a daytime pilot. I did the Man in the Middle pilot. They tried to clear it. You know what that means. Everyone listening knows what that means. It did not clear. And I was bummed about it. You know, I mean, it didn't clear. It didn't sell, you know, and I think it's so funny. I didn't even think it wouldn't clear. I just had such success with Kelly Ripa. I didn't even think about it. You know, I met the salespeople from CBS and I was like, this is a go, but it didn't go. And so that was another bummer. And then something crazy happened. Wendy Williams, love her, got sick. I had to take a leave of absence, sorry. And I had been a frequent guest on her show. And out of the blue, the Debmar people called me up and said, will you fill in for Wendy while Wendy's on a leave of absence? And I had a lot of fun working with those Debmar people. Man, that Wendy Williams show is a special kind of syndicated creature. That 20-minute block that Wendy does, you know, I had done 20-minute opening blocks with Kelly Ripa and Gelman, but you're sitting there with Kelly Ripa. We could do an hour opening block and it would be entertaining. That Wendy Williams block is a 20-minute opening act by herself, Han Solo, no commercial breaks. And their director over there, a guy named David Perler, great dude, said, you know, and Jem Brookman, their producer, Alexandra Jewett, their producer over there, said, we do this 20-minute opening and you got to do it. And we don't go to commercial. So if you run out of stuff to say about the Kardashians or Kanye or Drake, talk about the weather because we're not going to commercial for 20 minutes. And I did it one time and it was the most nervous I've been in my career going out to do that Wendy show live, not taped. I was like, can we tape it? And then they were like, we do it live. F it, we'll do it live. You know what I'm talking about. Once I did that, I got really addicted to that opening 20 monologue that Debmar does with Wendy Williams. And I filled in for her a bunch. That brings me to Frank Sicha. I'm allowed to call him Frank. They wanted to do a test run of me, maybe a show paired with Wendy Williams. And we did a 1-month test run. It was so much fun. I loved working with the Debmar people. And that did not go. And I'm just so grateful. I was so grateful for the experience. It was a great experience. It didn't go. Of course, you're upset things don't go. A show doesn't get picked up, but I had a lot of shows not picked up at this point, and I really enjoyed working with Frank and everybody over there at Fox. And I just like wrote an email like, I'm sorry it didn't work out. I wish I had done better, but stay in touch. And man, I was just so pleased when Frank called me up about this Pictionary show, because it really was. Everything happens for a reason, folks.
So what is the appeal for you? Now you've done a lot of daytime, as you just laid out, and now you this summer became the first male co-host of The Talk. I mean, what draws you? So between the substitute experiences you've done, the things that didn't get off the ground, and now The Talk, why are you drawn to host talk shows?
You know what? My kids are 13 now, so they're getting a little independent, and I have to drive them around a lot of places. My wife and I have to drive them around a lot of places. But for the first few years of their lives, I was a stay-at-home dad. My wife was very busy. My wife is an actress, Rebecca Romaine. Look her up. I stayed at home a lot, and I watched a lot of daytime television. Specifically Wendy Williams. I mean, I watched a lot of Wendy Williams when I was a stay-at-home father, and I'm a fan of the space. I am a daytime viewer. My household is a daytime. That television is on all day. We have not made the switch to strictly streaming TV. We are adamant about having live broadcast television. It's we're local news people. We love keeping local news on all day. And with that comes daytime programming. And when I went into hosting Pictionary, I got to give a big shout out to Stephen Brown, who's my boss over there, who really helped teach me how to present a game show. It's different. It's a different muscle.
Yeah.
Listen,
Well,
I've been on Broadway. I've been in movies. I've hosted television shows. Hosting a game show, the first few days I did it, and Stephen Brown will attest to this, I was not good. I actually went home the first day and I was like, there's a possibility I don't keep this job. They're going to have to call up someone with game show experience. It's a craft. It's a talent.
mhm.
And Stephen
Well,
Brown gave me notes like about going out of acts and things to do when you go out of acts, no matter what the prize is. Keeping a game going along. He taught me such great tricks about like make it a game. He gave me advice that Dick Clark had, and I don't want to give it away in case he writes a book about it, but he gave me like personal advice about how to address cameras.
mhm.
And I really feel very safe with Stephen Brown helming this game show. The man just knows what he is doing. And also there's like, much like making a half-hour game show, there's an efficiency about Stephen Brown. I just feel very, he's a great boss.
It sounds like hosting a game show, maybe you make it look easy, but it's not easy.
Listen, like anything else, and we're going to do 180 of these, you've got to get a rhythm. I don't want to say it's like easy, like, yeah, just roll up. I honestly thought it was going to be easy. I was like, yeah, I'll just roll up and read clues and have a little fun. There's like a technical side that I found to be very, it took me a second to catch on. Listen, when you film these things, you film a bunch in a row. So you do have to get sort of like a rhythm, and you have to conserve energy, and you have to go. And there's like there's got to be like there's got to be a rhythm to it. And I think that also plays into it being on 5 days a week, because again, I told you, as someone who is a daytime consumer, you want your coffee the same, you want what's in your living room the same. Obviously it can't be the same every episode. You got to change it up a little bit. But it's I'm definitely going to get into a rhythm and get comfortable with it. I'm it's also what's fun about those test runs is that we get to they were figuring out aspects of the game too, the first couple episodes that we did. We didn't
Right.
get much rehearsal. We were taping immediately.
Well, you did the summer trial run in the summer and then got picked up.
Yeah, we did the summer, and I'll tell you, as a performer, as a host, it's funny because they were testing other things too. So you almost feel like it's almost like speed dating. Like, you get someone across the table from you and you're like having fun and you're high-fiving everybody. And then you do your few episodes that's going to be the test. And like they're like carrying the furniture out for the next show that they're testing. It was a little there was definitely like an added pressure there for me, but I'm really glad everything worked out because we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I really I think it's going to be a lot of fun for people at home watching. Listen, another thing that really helped Pictionary is that we have this play at home sort of element, because I would post about it every day on social media, and I could see on social media the playing at home aspect was like gaining momentum as our test went on. So I have a feeling that play at home thing, you gotta keep up with the times, you know what I'm saying? And it's like the play at home aspect of Pictionary, I think, is going to really be kind of big for us too.
Well, so if it weren't for Omicron, this week would have been the NatB conference in Miami Beach, where you'd likely be there talking about Pictionary to a lot of broadcasters. There's been a lot of thinking around the industry that the syndication market could really be on the ropes, especially because the age of streaming. I wonder, as somebody now who's had pretty dense experience in the last couple of years in syndicated, what do you and somebody who you're describing your own habits of watching at home, having the TV on during the daytime. What do you think about the overall landscape of syndicated? Does it have a strong future, do you think? Is given that so many people are turning off broadcasts and going to streaming all day long, does that represent a threat?
I can't speak to numbers because that's why you all get the big bucks. I am just a game show host. But I will say, when opportunities get smaller, which is, I think, what's happening, it's not, harkening back to that show I talked about at the beginning of the podcast, there was a lot of syndication channels there, and like Star Search, these were like huge syndicated hit. TNG, there was like script, there was all kinds of programming in syndication. So I think it's a smaller market. That said, you just got to be better. You just have to produce. There's no room for not amazing stuff in the syndication world. You got to be amazing. I think Pictionary is an amazing daytime show. There's no room for not amazing.
All right. So on the subject of amazing, if I may, I want to try and see how good you are at Pictionary. I've never done this in one of them before, but I happen to have a whiteboard here.
This is so funny.
This is.
I want to tell you. I want to tell you something else. So when we did our test, the folks at Fox sent me around to Philly, DC. We have such a wealth of local markets. Those Good Day shows are amazing, and the Good Day casts are amazing. So they sent me to a couple of those big markets, and I played Pictionary with the Good Day crew of each of these cities, and it was so funny because I was drawing people on their Good Day news on their Fox News teams, and it's literally the easiest show to promote, and it's just simply the fact that you and I are not talking about numbers in the syndication market, that you and I are playing Pictionary right now.
It's
so
sort
let
of
me just tell you this. I tell this to all of our contestants. it's like, try to be concise. Like, try to really like be concise in your drawing and get right to the point.
Oh, I got it.
Efficiency of drawing.
Let's just see now. So mind you,
go.
this is with my daughter's home white erase board from homeschooling in the
Okay.
pandemic.
Okay.
It's TV related. That's the only clue I'll give you.
Okay.
And here
Okay.
we go. All right.
Frank Sincha, Stephen Brown, Wendy Williams. I'm kidding. Here we go. Okay. Person. Okay. It's an anchor. Popeye. Nautical. Below deck. Below deck. No. Okay. Captain. Love boat. Love boat. Love boat. Captain. Popeye the Sailor Man. TV related. Syndicated related. Below deck. Captain Lee. Captain Lee.
Let's see here.
Okay. It's a nautical thing. Miami Vice. Miami Vice. Nautical. Sailing. Love boat. Gilligan's Island. TV related. Nautical. That's a nautical. It's octopus. It's a captain. Oh man, we're gonna lose all this money. I can't see. Show me what you're drawing there. It's a captain. It's a car.
Sorry.
It's someone in a suit. It's a businessman. It's a businessman. It's someone at a desk. It's insurance. It's nautical insurance.
I don't know if we have a timer on this, Jerry, but
that is a nautical thing. There's no cheating. It's a naval academy.
I'm going to give you another clue. It's a movie.
Oh, it's a movie. Okay.
But it's TV related, but it has to do with the movie.
Navy.
Think the title.
A Few Good Men. McHale's Navy. Water. Sailing.
I'm going to be more literal here.
Sailing.
Going to do this again.
Okay.
And
right. We would have lost a lot of money on Pictionary right now.
Okay, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to tell you. It's Anchorman.
I thought we were doing it like syndicate. I thought this was like syndication.
No, well, I mean, I was just trying to think broadly there, but so I'm sorry, I'm not sending you home with any prizes today, but
I mean, how are we supposed to sell this show now if you and I didn't succeed at Pictionary?
Well, yeah, sorry. That's sorry about that. But that was my best, most imaginative try there.
I'm gonna get notes from Stephen Brown about my guessing skills with you now.
Well, you're the host though, so you don't have to play it typically. But Jerry, thank you so much for being here today, for describing Pictionary for us, and let's just see how your year goes, and all the best to you as the show goes in its first full season.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
A new episode of Talking TV is available most Fridays on TVNewsCheck.com. You can also listen and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Spotify.